here as Elevate goes ahead and they have first pick and first ban. So Serket will be banned out. Dela won't be getting that character, absolutely. Whereas Robin will be the ban for the Papis.
Pretty standard stuff thus far. It's the same exact story compared to the first game. This time around, Elevate, though, will be committed to that first pick. We'll see what they elect to go for. With Serket being banned, Robin, I'm expecting Elevate to leave open Kernanos, trying to get that for Jermaine again. No numbers could potentially look for a Bologna as well, but unless Papis ban away Bologna or Osiris, I don't expect Elevate to really prioritize the soul laner.
Well, the Kernanos is actually going to be banned out, so Jermaine doesn't want to play the Kernanos this time around.
Maybe he's bored. Like, one and done.
If it was anybody but Jermaine, I'd be like, oh, totally. But it's Jermaine, and he might just say that. I like Jermaine. I think his attitude is a lot of fun where he sits there and he goes, no, I am just bored of this god. And he will say that. And I kind of like that. Jermaine is a dude that wants to enjoy the game. I don't think he enjoys the game all the time, but he wants to enjoy the game, and I like that attitude.
And I think it's also he wants the Rom, potentially. Rom is a very highly contested god between these two teams, whether you're looking at Warchi or Jermaine. But Warchi also does have the Cupid. He really loves playing this god, and that's not a specific matchup that maybe Jermaine wants to get into.
Yeah, Cupid versus Rom is tough for the Rom player. With that first pick, it will be the Terra, so Dardes, or I guess the Soul Laner, no numbers.
That's true.
Kind of has to keep an eye open, so a little bit of flexibility there. The Papis option over in their court. They've got 2 picks. I wonder where they go here. Do you think they pick up a Cupid?
I would not necessarily right at this point. Right before the secondary ban phases is where I'm looking for this Cupid pick. Bologna being locked in right off the bat, taking that option away from no numbers, doing a really great performance against Creed, because Creed was always behind at least 2 levels off of that first gank from Nika in that soul lane. That's what really escalated no numbers ahead. I
like the soul out of the Papis. That shows me that they're on the same page, and they definitely want to continue pushing forward. It will be the Rom for Jermaine. This is one of his go-to characters, and I personally think it's his best character. That's just my 2 cents. And the Osiris selection here for no numbers is a great choice. We've seen how dominant Osiris can be. Naturally tanky. Very nice stuff.
Absolutely. Whenever there's a Bologna, you want to have Osiris to battle against her, to try to still stay relevant in some of these team fights, to be able to penetrate those defenses and stay a nuisance.
It's very interesting, actually. Why do we see Osiris picked into Bologna? He's a basic attack character, and yet she's got the disarm.
Sure. So the whole idea behind the matchup is you're going to slow her down, so that way you bait out her bludgeon, and then you keep enough distance away from yourself that you throw your 2. You get extra movement speed, Bologna gets slower, and then you're able to just outwalk her bludgeon. You don't even necessarily have to juke it.
So it's just about the fact that, yeah, you might have the counter to my basic attacks, but I'll just wait it out.
But not only that, if Bologna's investing a disarm into Osiris, that means Jermaine on this Rama is going to be free-firing every single in-hand potential.
That's true. That's certainly true. The Ratatasker selection for the Papis, that's something interesting. We're going to see Cabrakan one more time on Elevate. And they'll finish it up with Giannis. This is the character I like to see Nulissa on. We like to look at her at the Vulcan, and we saw the Isis come out, but the Giannis was the first character. She played in the Combine, where we had a bunch of players kind of come up and sort of flex their stuff off in the spotlight. She played in the Combine under a different name on the Giannis and just impressed the hell out of everybody. And then she came out and was like, that was me. Right? And then she played the Honest, and she was like, yeah, that's me. I love this matchup. Looking at Elevate's draft here, I give the Poppy some credit for going solo in Ratatasker, but I mean, this draft is out of this world for Elevate.
But you got to keep in mind that Kepri from Papis is going to make it more difficult for Elevate trying to remain aggressive, but there's a lot of global pressure and mobility from Elevate here. They have Dardes playing the Terra, able to assist the soul lane any single time. Nulissa can throw out portals whichever direction she really wants, and Jermaine has this half global, so he can make these half rotations towards the mid lane, and whenever there's anything popping off there, he's going to start firing those artillery shots.
And we'll see that. Jermaine loves to be the guy that's firing those and making sure he's known in virtually every team fight needed. But again, it's going to be Nulissa that's going to be the facilitator here a lot for the team.
Absolutely. So far in the dual lane, Warchi and Draco Marino trying to establish some positioning here because Terra's level 1 is not the strongest.
Oh, I love this play. Oh, I love this play. Jermaine's already in trouble. Creed's here! And that's first blood already. And, you know, I was going to mention this in game number 1, Toli. I said, so Creed was sitting there in the mid lane. And even without the ward, Elevate understood that there could be a solo laner here. That was an okie doke play that automatically got you first blood, and then players got used to it. Well, they're not used to him in the long lane.
That actually happened to me in a ranked game not too long ago, in a week ago. I was like, who does this?
Right?
But apparently, some people still do this, and this is a great play. You know, it didn't work out in the mid lane, but having full effect in the dual lane. So now, Warchi is going to be a level ahead pretty consistently throughout the rest of this laning phase. The Purification Beads are still down on Jermaine for another 2 minutes, and once these red buffs get stripped away, Warchi's damage is just going to skyrocket.
You know, we have a term for that on the console side of things. It's a cloud call. It's just something that is so wacky that it just might work. And you shove your solo laner in the dual lane at minute 1. Yeah, it's so crazy it just might work, and it does.
I mean, hunters and supports have so much confidence in their own boxing potential that they're going to try to go for the 2v2 boxing before the wave hits, and that gives enough time for Creed to rotate to solo lane, try to go for the gank. Whether or not he's successful, he'll at least force the Purification Beads, and then teleport back in the solo lane without missing any gold or experience.
And you want to talk about the Papis doing the homework. If there are some teams that won't take that fight, that boxing match, Dardas and Jermaine are going to fight you every chance they get. The Papis sat there and go, look, I know you, Mr. Bruise Brothers, okay, we know you want to fight. Let's punish you for your player tendency. I love that. I love that.
But also, even without the rotation from Creed, I would have to give the slight edge to the 2v2 towards Draco Marino and Warchi, the Huyi and the Khepri, only because of the fact that Darda's playing the Terra at level 1, not the strongest in the world. You don't have your combo between dashing through your monolith quite yet.
Even still, though. Elevate wind up on the wrong side of the gank in the long lane and possibly the Gold Fury. In fact, it will be. The Papis hit level 5, rotate at 250, and take out the Gold Fury. That's going to put them up almost 2,000 gold this early on, Toli. We're only 3 minutes in.
You talk about wanting to get the stuff after the stuff, F-Dot. Well, there you go. Papis listening to you, and they grab the Gold Fury after that first blood. Once they get more lane pressure in the dual lane, they get the pressure in the mid lane. They're able to collaborate together collectively in the middle ground, being able to secure that first important objective of the game. And
now they're looking for some of the smaller objectives. And they'll go ahead and pick up these Kremlins. There it is. Elevate this time around. But they're trailing by 2K at 3 minutes. It's going to be an uphill battle.
Absolutely. The question remains is how Papis is going to transition this 2,000 gold lead, because they can't just not do anything with it, right? They have to be able to wait for the timings, you know, the Yonan's Wrath potentially being completed for Dalo, maybe the boots finished in the solo lane action before any sort of invades happens. You want to spend your 2,000 gold lead before you actually extend it further.
So taking a zoom out real quick, this start for the Papis is so important. Big picture. Now, obviously, it's important for the game, but it's important for us to understand who the Papis are. Creed's in a little bit of trouble. Might be a lot of trouble. No, just a little bit of trouble. Dalo's going to come help out. There's the semi-global coming out from the Ratatasker. They'll be able to back off. No numbers in trouble, but there's trouble for Creed. Saved by Draco Marino. Nulissa has the unstable available. She's going to hit the support. Not the solo like she might have wanted.
Great dash out of Creed, barely able to escape the portal coming out of Nulissa. Great rotation also from Draco Marino. Dardas wasn't in position the way he wanted to be, but that global pressure from the Terra is good enough to make its impact really felt, which is why Papis couldn't really find a kill in that solo lane.
So I was talking about, it's important for us as fans and, you know, commentators and analysts. We're learning the Papis. These guys have been playing in the Challenger Cup for a long time, and now we finally see them on the SPL stage, and we're getting to know you, right? And so the Papis here, after seeing them surrender, 16 minutes getting shut out, right? That's a nasty loss. That's one of the nastiest losses we've seen in a long time. And how do they bounce back? by getting a first blood and then a 3-minute Gold Fury, yeah, all right. I start to see what you're made of, Papis.
They've done their homework. They're making the necessary adjustments.
Which
also,
is, yeah.
It picks and bans, not allowing certain gods to be played by Elevate that were so successful. But this time around, they've still adapted by picking up this Bologna for Creed to be able to contest against no numbers. And he's not 2 levels behind before, and he survives the gank as well.
Well, we'll see if he's going to survive the remaining ganks. That's the question. That's the question. It's just 1-0 at the moment with 6 minutes in, of course, nice and early on. And the 2,000 gold lead that the Papis got earlier is still pretty much intact. No numbers might be in trouble on the right side, but it's Warchi on the left side that has to pop his beads here. There's the rally. Creed going for the kill, but it's dodged out by the ultimate out of no numbers. Well done. Nice little battle between warriors in the short lane.
Normally, the up and down between No Numbers, Lord of the Afterlife, and Creed's Eagles Rally is kind of a game of chicken. Who's going to do it first?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of counterplay potentially where you could just aim your other up and down and try to avoid theirs and hit them at the same time. So No Numbers could have potentially turned that around had he positioned his character facing Creed and look to quickly go up and down, connecting, avoiding the Eagles Rally, hitting the Lord of the Afterlife, and maybe finding more slows outside that tower.
So we saw Nika go absorb a wave in the solo lane. That's the first time I've really seen Nika show up. We haven't really seen his presence. We haven't felt his presence, I should say, in some of these team fights. I need more out of Nika on this Cabrakan.
He doesn't have the same kind of pressure that he had out of Thor since he doesn't have that global presence, but he's been quietly farming. He's level 9 compared to Delo's level 8. So
Okay.
despite, you know, trying to look for these ganks out of the Ratatasker, because he wasn't so successful, there's slightly more experience on this Cabrakan that's very aggressive in nature,
Right.
trying to go for this Sunder play.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the Sunder, and he's got, you know, all the nonsense that comes with Cabrakan, the Tremors, and, well, Dalo and Creed are going to look for no numbers. Yeah, I mean, Nika does have a lot of options on that Cabrakan. See where he opts to go with them. Level 10 no numbers, staying aggressive, but more aggression on the left side than the right. Dardes, Nika, Dulissa here, trying to be local for the red buff, but ultimately they'll have to peel back. It's going to be Nika still staying near the red buff, but it's already taken. The guys at the Papis want him splitting it.
The red buff and the gold here respawning at the same time, so Elevate was trying to position themselves for one or the either, but Papis didn't really give the Elevate too much to work with. Dardes trying to get Warchi in a bad spot because his purification beads is still down for another 30 seconds.
Alyssa and Nika might get collapsed on here by oh boom. He's able to just control the situation a little bit, and everybody will go back to, if not base, at least their own jungle.
Oh, in the sky, Dalo looking for the play. That's 3, but he doesn't connect onto anybody in the backline, and now stunning out Nico before he gets stunned in return.
There's the Terra's ultimate, though, and it's going to make everybody go a little bit faster. Trouble for the support, trouble for the Hunter, as Jermaine just dials it down to the Papis. Warchi has to jump away, but he jumps in place. He stands still. No numbers puts Elevate on the board.
He really tried to jump over that Gold Fury wall, but because no numbers showed prematurely than he would have liked to, Warchi was forced to go up, nowhere to go. He just tries to go down for whatever damage he can return before dying.
Oh man, that's rough. He just wasn't close enough to the wall to find the jump. And because of that, he trades his life. Warchi dies for the first time this game. And the Papis and Elevator tied at 1.
No numbers, trying to zone Creed away from that mid lane, doing a little bit of damage, stunning him out with the tether. Dardes is right around the corner, barely able to avoid that stun with a nice little dash yet again from Creed.
So when it comes down to it, totally. Who do you think is the upper hand as far as the drafts are concerned in this one?
I think as the game progresses a little later on, the mobility from Elevate between Alyssa playing this Yana, she has the portal, she has the threshold, which not only slows opponents, but also amplifies your own movement speed along with your teammates. That fact alone should give Elevate a nice little edge when it comes to those little poke battles between Gold Fury and Fire Giant when both teams are trying to jostle for positioning.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, okay. I'll see that one. I'll give it to you. I like that one. I'll give it to you.
But at the same time, there is a decent amount of a surprise factor from the Papis that could be into effect here, because Dalo on this Ratatasker is looking to jump from branch to branch, surprising somebody in the backline out of Elevate. More than likely, that person will be Jermaine, or it could be somebody taking those portals defensively out of Nelissa's ultimate.
Yeah, I think it's, I think that Ratatasker is going to be one of those pick-off guys. He's going to be looking for the stragglers in the team fight. 2-on-2 here in the duel lane. Draco Mariner going to take it down to about half HP, thanks to the accuracy of Jermaine's bow.
Still looking for a little bit more action in the duel lane as Jermaine rotates around. Red buff will respawn in about 30 seconds or so, but Papis mid and jungler are right around the corner. Not going to allow Elevate to get that one, at least uncontested.
Yeah, Dalo narrowly avoided some trouble there. The right crowd control and Elevate could have just collapsed on him, but they play it safe, they play it polite. And then Dalo kind of just wander back into his own jungle.
Surprisingly enough, looking at the build choice here, there's 3 points in the second ability out of Rom here, which means he's going to be doing more attack speed throughout these team fights, but normally a lot of ROMs will like to max out that rolling assault just for a shorter cooldown, trying to be even more safe. You can roll away from danger, use that ultimate, and the duration of the ultimate buys you enough time for your next rolling assault.
At the same time, you get a lot of different benefits from going with the differential. So first, I think a lot of people just kind of want the damage from the astral arrows. But when you go ahead and you are able to put points into your second ability, the steroid, you also increase the chance that your passive plays into effect, where you actually drop arrows and can pick that up to amplify your astral arrows. That actually interacts very, very well. So by leveling up that second ability, you increase the chances that you'll just have more astral arrows at your disposal. And when it comes down to it, that's exactly what Jermaine's looking for. Just he wants those arrows up all the time, so he can do penetration damage throughout the enemies in the team fight, or even shoot through walls.
If there was ever a question if Jermaine wants to be aggressive, well, that's your answer right there. It's all about the DPS, whether it's the attack speed or just a straight up damage coming out of those astral arrows. But Elevate still trying to find their spot in the game. Nice little stun from Nika. Despite being abducted, you're only silenced during that abduct. You could still in-hand. You could still use your basic in-hands against targets, and because Nika procced his steroid before the abduct, he was able to connect that stun and cancel out the abduct.
Man, what a different game than game number 1. Elevate, or rather the Papis, you said they made an adjustment. What do you think is the biggest adaptation that we've seen from game 1 to game 2?
Well, so far it's been the quiet farming game. Obviously, that first blood was pretty spicy coming out of Papis. Kind of threw a wrench out of Elevate. They certainly were not expecting that one, but it was also that 3-minute Goal Fury that they've been able to make a call out of very confidently, not expecting Elevate to even be nowhere near contention. Not only that, look at the Soul Lane matchup. This time, no numbers, not having the Bologna, not very uncommon for him to be playing this Osiris either, but it's been helping out Creed in the long run as he's the same exact level as his counterpart.
Papis are going to be in trouble here. No, they won't be. As things go on, they're going to be in trouble as Warchi finds himself on the receiving end of Jermaine's shots. 2 out of 3 are good. And they're going to wait out the Khepri ult, and now no numbers will dive right in. The portal opened by Nulissa, and Nika gets the kill on a Warchi. Draco Marino safe underneath the tower, but Warchi falls down.
It was a great thing that Jermaine actually missed that 3rd hit, because it would have procced that Scarab's blessing out of Draco Marino, and Jermaine connecting on the first 2, got him low enough to allow no numbers to make this rotation, but this time Elevate with a 5-on-4 advantage for 15 seconds. They're going for the second goal here of the game.
Yeah, oh, Boom is here, and so is Ratatasker. He'll jump on down. The Gold Fury was leashed this time around. No, gets taken again by the Papis.
They're still looking for even more. Ojabu finding no numbers in the backline. No one else to assist. The Osiris Nika trying to survive the portal from the Lissa, keeping him alive.
But not the same for Dardas and Jermaine. They might make it the safety underneath the tower, but the Gold Fury. Oh, the gold. Oh, Nika, he's getting aggressive. He's chasing the kill. He's going to fall himself. Oh, that was not the right call. Nika gets over-aggressive, trades his life for nothing. Jermaine needs to find these. 1 shot, 2 shot. Can't find the third.
No mana onto Dardas either to be able to find this kill, but he has a lot of mobility because of Nalissa coming through. Was that through space and time? That
Yes.
was Nalissa with a double kill, finding one in the left and one in mid.
Love it. Just love it. Makes it look so casual,
Oh
too.
my goodness. Every single time I see a kill being dealt by through space and time, I feel like something bad happens to the world.
That is the bad that happens in the world. Through space and time comes through and gets the kill. Oh, boom. It was Hunter. Secure a portal demon. So 15.5 in, 7 kills, 4 of which belong to Elevate. And the game is 4,000. Make it 3,000. 3,000 gold on the side of the Papis. What a difference. This time last game, the Papis were talking about F6ing.
Yes, they were down 16-0 at the 18-19 minute mark before they surrendered here.
Right.
And it's only 2 minutes earlier than their current state of the first game, and they're actually in the lead. 3,000 gold, almost 4,000 experience. This is up to the Papis to be able to find the split here.
Yeah, and so the way they're going right now is pretty much exactly what they need to happen. Just continue doing what's going on here in the game. Nothing really out of the ordinary. We're gonna take a brief pause as the players need to get their stuff together. But when it comes down to it, the Papis, they're 3K in the lead. What do they need to do differently towards the late game to ensure that they keep on?
As long as they just keep getting the vision that they need to catch anybody slipping out of Elevate, as long as they continue putting pressure on this Gold Fury, even if they give up some Portal Demons in response, Gold Fury is worth more in the long run, so that's going to be able to help slowly build up their lead. And Papis, they just need to keep playing as a cohesive unit. Rely on the ultimates out of Dalo to get somebody scattered in the backline, get them out of position, and then just commit to that kill.
Head right back in the game here. Papis want to finish this one out nice and clean. Will Elevate be able to stop them? I think it's a fair assessment to say that the game is certainly not over. Only 3K in the lead.
It's not too much around the 16.5 minute mark. Dardas keeping Ocho Boom rooted. Going to force out the purification beads as well. The Soul player needs to be a little bit more careful with his positioning. Actually, didn't even use it. It was the Disapparate that got him out of dodge.
Yep. Just, the built-in on that Soul kit. Nalissa has to be careful in the mid lane. She does have some aggressors here wrapping around the mid lane, but as we see the rotation from the solo Osiris gonna be fruitful. Here's trouble around the Gremlins, however, through space and time, won't get a kill. 4-man knockup for Dalo, but he's immediately forced into the Aegis. No Numbers in trouble, has to jump away thanks to the ultimate as well. Nobody dead totally, but a ton of damage dealt out. 4
for 4 ultimates being used. Warchi being left alone with Draco Marino trying to defend. The stun not on the mark against the Khepri. 2 more Papis members on the right-hand side looking to collapse in the mid lane, but the rest of Elevate are not really too worried here as they have No Numbers teleport back on the right.
Yeah, and he's gonna look for the flank and help his team out here. Everybody 5-on-5 in the mid lane. There's a nice grab out of the Khepri, but big control out of Nalissa. Drops 2 into the portal. Who turned out the lights? Big damage coming out of the unstable vortex. To the skies goes the Rom. 1 shot, 2 shots. See you later. Jermaine from a distance takes down Draco Marino.
Surprisingly, Papis wanting to pull a fully stacked Osiris into them. That's 16% physical damage mitigation, 8% magical that you're not going to be doing. Not only that, Mystical Mail is finished trying to get more magical protection in the form of Shogun's Kusari and get more attack speed. This is not the easiest god to kill in the world.
Not at all. Not at all. And I love that you highlighted the Shogun's Kusari, one of my favorite items.
Absolutely. The aura that's been buffed recently, going from 10% to 25%, not only helps out your hunters, but helps out these in-hand warriors such as Osiris that's able to really stay in that backline and just be an absolute, just create havoc everywhere.
Yeah, you just want to be in a nuisance. Just a nuisance. Rough. The Bracken also with a nice little hybrid build there. Stone of Binding, one of the very interesting abilities, one of the more interesting items as well. More damage when things get CC'd.
Yes, basically you're getting more penetration for not only yourself, but all of your teammates that are nearby you once somebody gets crowd controlled. And Nika has 3 different forms of crowd control between his 2 stuns and even the tremors applying that effect.
Now, which one is the Walrus stun?
That's the one. That's the Walrus hands. He's a walrus.
I am the Walrus. You a fan?
Cuckoo, Kachu.
Thank you. I wanted to see how far you would go down the rabbit hole with me. But the Papis, They're climbing their way out of the rabbit hole that they found themselves in game number 1. And they're doing it in spectacular fashion. Listen, 3,000 gold is not something to write a book about, but the storyline coming from game number 1 absolutely is. The Papis have gotten away with this not once, but twice, where they just sort of get a gold fury. This time around, they're a little less prepared and they have to leash it.
Warchi trying to box out Jermaine and Alyssa. Gonna jump away after that unstable vortex in the mid lane. The rest of the Papis is basically deterred away as No Numbers makes his presence there felt a little bit. Warchi's still thinking about maybe starting up this goal fury, but Elevate, they're not really too worried as they did make the rotation. They did have to invest into that through space and time though, just to stop it.
But now the vision is in favor of Elevate there while they go. Even if you are able to go ahead and clear out something, there's going to be trouble later on.
No Numbers though, he gets caught in the backline. Nice little Eagles rally. Ocha Boom finding the kill. Finally, Papis gets the first kill of the encounter. Dalo forced to retreat as Creed gets taken out. It's going to be a 4-on-4.
And here's trouble continuing. Jermaine takes to the sky. 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shot gets immune, but Nika's able to clean up the support. Down goes Draco Marino. Just the second time this game, but Alyssa trying to find the basics. Can't get the duel with Warchi. I like that she went for it, though.
Very confident because she knew just how much health she had to be able to tank that tier 1 mid tower, despite mages not having any sort of physical defense.
Right.
That doesn't really matter whenever somebody's that low. Mages Indians do hurt quite a bit. Level 16 Alyssa having the first goal fury of the game going the way of Elevate.
Elevate able to go ahead and clean things up here. Big gold fury for them, winds up basically tying the game.
It stops any sort of momentum that Papis got from earlier on in the game between that first blood, between that 3-minute gold fury. That one's gone as well. The Portal Demon hasn't really been touched quite yet. There was a team fight over there not too long ago, but not able to really find it either team though. But with this gold fury down for another 4.5 minutes, that's going to be the next point of contention.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, or you know what? I think it just might be the Fire Giant, Tolly. I think we just might see the Fire Giant not either dance or just go for it. Right now, the Papis at Elevate have proven that they want to fight. I think we're going to see a fight, and then we'll see a Fire Giant. But these guys like fighting.
Oh, I agree. Shogun's Kusari on No Numbers finally completed. Jermaine has a lot of attack speed with his steroid. Even without it, though, will be amplified by that 25%. It also helps him to go into this crit build with the Rage. But surprisingly enough, going for a crit against Warchi that's playing this Hu Yi, and the way Hu Yi's passive works is you cannot get crit more than once every 3 seconds.
But you're also, I mean, you're amplifying a lot of what your teammates do. Even, I mean, Osiris and the Hunter, sure, but even Cabrakan. He's going to come through.
Sure.
Even faster.
Faster Walrus hands.
With the Walrus hands!
Faster Walrus hands. That's what it's all about. That stun is just going to be devastating against Papis. They need to be careful about those Walrus hands.
With Cabrakan, it all comes half circle. Totally right now.
I see what you did there.
Totally right now.
I love what you did there.
Totally right now just put his hands in his head in his hands and went, wow, okay, I got to give you that one. And right now, that's not what Elevate are willing to say. They fought back into this one with the Gold Fury. And right here, this dance around the Portal Demon, they are not willing to just give it to the Papis here. Tossing out everything that they can, No Numbers, just trying to keep himself in this passive mode. He has so much damage reduction when he's completely translucent.
Neither team really wanted to pull the trigger quite yet around this Fire Giant. Very careful as they're trying to force something. Dalo is trying to go into the backline, gonna land on top of No Numbers.
Interesting choice there coming out from Dalo to pop into the ultimate. It's gonna give enough separation for the Papis to start the Portal Demon, but they don't have faith to finish it. Nika goes through the portals, everyone does, right into the clutches of, oh, boom! Down comes everything out of the soul and able to send Nika back to the drawing board. Creed down to 25% HP, has help from Kepri. No Numbers lonely in this enemy jungle, has to jump over the wall. And it looks like that be that,
Creed.
but Nika falls down.
Creed did a great job zoning 3 in the backline, but No Numbers returned the favor there. Nika, he's not as tanky as he once thought he was. Nice little stun onto Draco Marino, but it's great Scourge preventing the DPS out of Jermaine.
Portal Demon still here. Jermaine trying to get him with the penetration arrows. Goes to the sky. Portal Demon goes the way of the Papis. That was a close one.
No numbers teleported in the back line, but he's left alone against all 5 members. He's still very tanky in that ethereal corporal form. He's not able to really get locked down fast enough that the Papis would have liked to, but despite all of that, despite the contention from Jermaine, 750 gold going the way of the Papis.
Yeah, nice play coming out for the Papis right there. Able to just continue their lead. They understand that Elevate were able to tie things up, but they're... And that sort of mindset, I guess perseverance is the word. We saw it in the bounce back from game number 1. That's what I think is going to be the best for the Papis. We talk a lot about players getting in their heads or players tilting, right? I really hope that this is a nice look for the Papis, that this is what their strength might be. Hey, shout out to the split pushing Giannis.
I mean, you have the global presence with your ultimate. You can easily use that portal even just to get into safety, force out the teleport, and guess what? Nilissa, she can easily go back into split pushing either dual lane or mid lane with that teleport being down for Creed.
Yeah, I like that play coming out of Nilissa. She's got a little bit of penetration, ton of magic power as that 3rd item to Hootie comes online. That 4th item, what do you think it's going to be? Is it
right
a Soul Reaver?
I don't think so. Maybe, like, we haven't seen Soul Reaver in quite a long time, but at the same time, it's too late to kind of be stacking Book of
That's
Talk.
why I'm asking.
So
are we going to see a Soul Reaver?
It's probably going to be the Soul Reaver.
We're going to see her blow people up. Yo, I'm so down. I love watching just Giannis just, oh, Giannis only has 1 damaging ability. All I need, bam, bam.
Just a double bam?
Bam, bam. Just like that.
Are we going back in time?
Nah, you gotta...
Are we riding cars with our feet now?
I knew you were going there. That's what happens when you got pebbles for brains. Totally making the same face he made before when I said the Cabrac.
I'm just mad I didn't say it first, that's all.
Right now, the Papis 8-5 elevate on top of the kills, but the Papis on top of the gold. Right now, closer than either team would really like it. Game 1 went to elevate in a very, well, the opposite of what we're seeing right here. A complete dominating, incomplete dominating fashion. Elevate was able to just stomp down the competition. Jermaine and Dardes aren't as sneaky as they might think. 3 members from the Papis are waiting around the corner, and Nika is going to look for the flank as well, but Warchi's here. And that's just going to shut down Elevate's entire plan.
Look at the
Gold
crits.
Fury, already half HP.
Crit's doing a lot of work against the Gold Fury, so Elevate's still trying to go around here. They're all grouped up here. On the left-hand side, though, in the dual lane, Alyssa squeezes in a wave real quick before wanting to make the rotation. This is what makes a team really solid. Even though you might be flirting with the idea of Gold Fury, Portal Demon, Fire Giant, if there's ever farm that you could sneak in between these objectives, absolutely do it. Min-max, get your gold, get your items, look for that damage, and that's exactly what Elevate's doing.
Yeah, Graham actually mentioned it earlier that when you're able to find those, you know, everybody's doing this awkward dance around whatever objective, you got to go and dip and continue to get that farm online. We're seeing a very timid two very timid teams here.
Well,
unable to really full commit on these objectives.
It makes sense because Papis got wrecked absolutely in the first game, whereas Elevate, they haven't had the best start the same way they got off in the first game, so this is why they've been slowing down. Their foot is not all the way to the floor of the gas pedal. They're really trying to take their foot on that brakes instead, waiting for that absolute late game when everybody's level 20 and maybe looking for that one team fight going their way with all those portals and thresholds from Nilissa.
Or maybe just the lucky double kill through space and time.
Trying to go for one right there onto Warchi. The rest of Elevate making the rotation, forcing out the purification beads, but the rest of Papis is here.
In the skies, Ratatasker finds Nika, bringing him down to 75, and the Ricochet brings him down to 50. There's going to still be trouble as Terra activates the ultimate, and on the flank side is no numbers in the jungle. Papis have all 5 members in this left-hand lane, but they're going to slink back into the jungle. Keep in mind that Cold Fury is up.
Forcing out the Aegis and the Sunder out of Nika. Every other relic is available for Elevate. Not investing in too many relics on the side of Papis either, but that Terra's Blessing or through space and time, it's going to be a little easier for Papis to be able to start grouping up and taking advantage of Elevate's lack of mobility now.
I mean, Elevate's lack of mobility?
Well, with those 2 ultimates being down from Nilissa and Dardes.
Okay. I was going to say, I mean, that's a Giannis. she can walk through walls.
That's true.
I mean, the character can walk through walls. Oh, Giannis. The god of doors. What an interesting, like the god of doors.
I mean, who needs a door, though, if you're the Juggernaut, right?
I mean, I guess.
We need a Juggernaut god. Start breaking down some walls.
We really don't. The Juggernaut god?
Yeah, just start to break down some walls. Kuzenbo.
Well, no, what's it called? Ganesh, actually.
True.
Not available in this week just yet, but Ganesh, the latest god that will be added to our pro scene here, does have the ability to break player-made walls.
But I'm talking about, like, actual map walls.
All right, stop.
Or at least temporarily.
All right, stop.
Just create your own obstacle.
No numbers, what are you doing? Walking in by himself here. While the rest of his team takes a look at the Gold Fury, they want to unleash it, and that's exactly what they'll do. Nika taking Warchi for a ride around the mulberry bush, won't commit. No numbers still. What are you doing? Walking into 4 people, takes the tiniest portal in the world, and now he's going to get aggressed on by the juggler, but finds another portal right in through the side. Still not safe. Jumps over the wall with no numbers. And he's going to find himself to safety on the right-hand side. Nika drops the semicircle to protect him and his team, and that was a strong ejection. That was a good disengage by Elevate, but they shouldn't have had to disengage so hard. And because of it, the Papis get a Gold Fury. Totally, break it down. I want to point at a single player.
No numbers.
Was that no numbers getting caught out?
No numbers wanted to take a very awkward path, trying to be like, hey, look at me, don't look at my team doing the goal here. Jermaine got that goal here to about 25% health before everyone from Poppy started to slowly collapse. And yet again, Nalissa using her ultimate really early in that engagement, trying to save the life out of Nika. He got poked down to about 50% health, didn't really have the tools available, the resources rather, of his health pool to be able to stay relevant in the front line and be that buffer that the rest of Elevate needed to. There was no kills onto Elevate,
right, but
Nika and no numbers getting bullied out there, not having the list ultimate, allowed Poppies to just guarantee themselves that goal for you at the 30-minute mark.
And just, oh man, rather unfortunate for Elevate, who have been doing relatively well here. The Poppies, well, they're just doing a little bit better, taking a 3,000 gold lead here in our 31st minute of our game number 2. So far, we've seen a couple of splits.
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to see another one today?
This is very possible. It's going to be dependent on this next important team fight, because Fire Giant is when things are going to start being securing the tier 2 towers, the Phoenixes, and Elevate's been known to be one of this split-heavy teams, whether they're playing the Poppies or whether they're playing Energy. They can split almost against anybody.
I'm very interested to see how this game winds up. This is one that honestly has me on the edge of my seat, real talk. A lot of times, you know, these games are, listen, they're all exciting. But this one, I just legitimately don't know what's going to happen. A lot of times you sit there and you go, all right, they're up 5,000. We're going to see the Gold Fury. We're going to see the team fight. I've seen what's going on. I don't know what's going to happen from fight to fight.
I mean, it's very difficult to tell at this point. There's only a total of 13 kills collectively between these two teams, as opposed to Elevate getting 16 by themselves the first game. I can tell you almost everything that was going to happen in that first game after the 5-minute mark.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean by it's kind of not predictable, but we've seen these games happen a zillion and one times. You know, we've seen these scenarios. We know what happens when a Raven gets ahead. We know what happens when a Vulcan gets behind, right? I mean, we know what's going on. But this is at literally anyone's game, and that just makes it so much more exciting. I think that these two teams are relatively evenly matched up. I think the Poppies are stronger than people give them credit for, and I think that Elevate has definitely shown some growing pains without fails. But for the individual fans at home, I think it's interesting to note that, yeah, fails, you can feel it. But Nulissa has stepped her game up without fails there. Nulissa and fails had a very nice mid-lane jungle synergy. And with Nika here, it kind of seems like she feels like she has to step it up a little bit to really bring him on. And I like what I'm seeing.
Nalissa's definitely stepped it up this game, being a part of 7 out of the 8 kills coming out of Elevate. Did finish off that Soul Reaver at this point in the game, so she's going to be bringing in quite a heavy punch here, whoever gets hit by that unstable vortex.
And see, that's, again, like, even the itemization, she realizes that she needs to bring a little more of the damage. Here, she's going to start things off by bringing Draco Marina out of the team fight. The juggler goes to the sky, and Dalo's going to look for the knockout. It's going to be a Dardes, and he's going to knock him all the way down to home base. Dardes down for the moment. Here's going to be the continuation from the Poppies. That was cute, Jermaine. Nice little portal.
Still trying to find some sort of action, though. Great play from Nilissa, but response from the Papis just were undeterred from being able to find the kill onto Dardas. Both supports were the primary focus of that engagement.
Here's some more trouble. Papis pushing into Elevate's jungle, but they'll walk away after Nilissa throws her vortex out there.
Warchi taking about half of his health, forced to go back into the base just to be a little healthy, avoiding that sickle ever so slightly. Now Nilissa's Soul Reaver, though, did come back off of cooldown after hitting Draco Marino with it in that previous engagement. They need to figure out a way, Elevate does, about how to lock down this Khepri player. Just Cabrakan ult him.
Yeah, just Cabrakan ult.
And then you give him the Walrus hands.
You can't do that to me, man. You caught me off guard with the Walrus hands. I'm trying to commentate here. You're commandeering my commentary. Draco Marino. Nilissa has 1 shot per fight for the Soul Reaver. She portaled the support, which was important, but unfortunately she didn't get the Soul Reaver hit on some of the squishier targets. Was it a mistake to use the Soul Reaver on the support, or was it more important to control him with the portal?
I think it was very important to control him with the portal. You get him out of the fight, you're forcing Draco Marino in a spot where he has to consider maybe even using a Scarab Blessing on himself and not one of his teammates, making the rest of the team fights easier. And then even if you find the kill onto this Khepri player, now that's going to mean less Rising Dawns, and that ability just heavily mitigates a lot of the late game damage out of Elevate, specifically out of Nilissa as well, if she gets hit by that.
And I think that shows really good just game sense by Nilissa specifically. Listen, when you buy that Soul Reaver, it can be really tempting to just, I'm going to wait until I can blow somebody up. And the fact that she knew that she still had to provide the control for her team, very, very important skill to have, to be able to say, I have an item that will literally one-shot somebody, but I better do my job instead of play for the Jiffy Cat. Right?
And she's not afraid to try to play for that Jiffy Cat. We saw her use that ultimate through space and time against Warchi under that tier 1 tower. That could be a little bit of a foreshadowing once Nilissa gets her 5th and 6th item complete. Now trying to get some penetration in that Obsidian Shard.
Yeah, she's got a little bit of pen thanks to the Spear of Dezo, but the Obsidian Shard going to give her a ton more penetration. And you know what? We've seen Nilissa already split push on the Giannis. That's just going to help out even more so thanks to the percent penetration. So Nilissa going to head over here and clean up the wave for now. But definitely has her eyes on that Portal Demon area.
Both teams do, in fact. Papis looking like they want to jostle for some positioning as Warchi pushes out the solo lane action. A lot of Stellar Burst trying to be thrown out by Ojo Boom here, but a great job from Elevate avoiding that ability.
Roman Invicta looking for Jermaine. He's got to take to the sky after he uses the beads. Ojo Boom going to find the kill on the no numbers all the way on the other side. Warchi takes out Nika as well. 2 dead on the side of Elevate with just a 4,000 gold lead.
Jermaine getting caught in an awkward position, forces his front line to peel it back. Everybody was just too far grouped up. That Stellar Burst from Ojo Boom making a huge impact. He still also has Supernova available.
And not going to use it just yet. There it is on the Fire Giant for confirmation. And the FG goes to the Papis. Nilissa's going to head back to base secretly. Oh, she makes it.
Oh, if that was another second or so, like if she did that 1 second later, she would have been gone. But Nika's still dead for 20 seconds, no numbers for 25. Papis grouped up on the right-hand side to get another 300 gold per player in that tier 2 tower, then another 150 gold off the Portal Demon.
Yeah, this one's spiraling out of control for Elevate now. Down about 6,000 gold. Can still absolutely fight into this, which is a key point I want to bring up. 7,000 is bigger than 6 and more accurate. But when it comes down to it, if we look at the itemization of the players as we get later and later, it's 40 minutes in, right? The 7,000 gold differential is realistically, I mean, totally you're better at the numbers than I am, but more like a 2,000 or 3,000 gold lead because you can only buy so many items.
Absolutely. This gold lead that Papis has is the difference between having 6 items complete or about 5.5 out of Elevate. It's not that much, but still, a lot of towers remain out of Elevate to be able to strip away. There's 2 tier 2s, another tier 1. That's 3,500 gold collectively that Papis can start building up and then escalate that gold lead beyond that 10,000 milestone.
It's important that the Papis pick up that Gold Fury, not for themselves, but the denial to elevate. The only thing that Gold Fury can do right now is help elevate. It can't help the Papis. So they take it just to pretty much alleviate any sort of anxiety they have about anybody looking for that one.
Ojo Boom is melting these towers.
He's
250 damage per hit.
Once
that heat is 100% capacity, this soul with their attack speed and magic power, if left unchecked, will just destroy all these towers, and the disarm is on Papis' side.
Out damaging the Hunter when it comes to the Sharpshooter. Well, it depends on who gets the shots. Look at that one. But the defense coming out from Elevate looks like the turnaround. Nika's in trouble. One shot will do it. Nobody catches up. Dalo does. Hello. Down goes the jungler. It's a 5-on-4. Jermaine's very low. He's in the red, but nobody can catch up. He'll make his way to the fountain, and he'll live to see another day. But I can't say the same about this Phoenix, totally. Down it goes.
It's just gone. There's no minion wave there to even absorb all of that backdoor protection. Papis between the solo Ojo Boom and Warchi playing this Hu Yi get themselves these 2 Phoenixes. Fire Giant still around their waist for another minute and a half. They found the kill onto Nika, and with him still dead for another 30 seconds, they have enough time, Papis, to get this last remaining Phoenix.
Nulissa is valuing her positioning over the damage that she's dealing, which I think is important. If you die here, you're kind of just done. But she's not able to hit and deal damage, which is a problem. Dalo gets chased down to half HP thanks to the ultimate out of some. Well, actually, that wasn't the case, but we'll see the ultimate right here. 1 shot and 2 shot, but it won't be enough to kill. And Elevator able to push Papis off of their front lawn, but the damage is already done. Creed gets killed by Jermaine, but hey, totally. Professional analyst. Professional analyst. Would you trade a support for 3 Phoenixes?
Let me think about that. Yes, absolutely.
Exactly.
Despite the respawn timer being 70 seconds, once Creed did die, that's not enough time for Elevate to take full advantage of it because it's only Creed that died.
Yep.
It's a 5-on-4, and 4 of those members have Fire Giant.
And you know what? I defaulted to the support. It's the solo laner. I would rather my solo Bologna die than my support Khepri at this point in the game.
Sure, absolutely.
That's a trade I'll make every step of the way. Absolutely. Yes, please, thank you. Do it again. Okay, A+. We'll do again.
Look at the consumable tab out of Creed. He has this 3K defensive potion, something we haven't really seen quite often in SPL, simply because the games don't really last that long. And another fact is because a lot of players will elect to go for the offensive potion instead, but with Bologna's build being this Frostbound Hammer style with Wing Blade, she doesn't really care about damage. Her job is to slow somebody down long enough to allow her true damage carries to be able to find that kill on the Soul or Warchi.
And I love the itemization choice of the Midgardian Mail. This is a niche item that we don't see all the time. Perfectly put in position for this one. Warchi gets taken down to half HP thanks to the ultimate out of Nulissa. He won't be able to be finished off. But you've got 3 different basic attack characters here. Jermaine and No Numbers are the 2 big ones. And then, okay, I guess just 2, but Nika kind of counts into there.
Sure, and the whole idea and mindset behind getting these 2 items is the fact that you can hit Nulissa with your Frostbound Hammer, and while you're getting hit by Jermaine, he might get slowed by your Midgardian Mail.
Exactly. And Midgardian Mail is one of my favorite items in the game because it just controls characters like Osiris so well. The Fire Giant went down so fast.
I barely blinked.
They actually have Sunder and Beads and Mages. Nobody has Blink whatsoever in this game, Anatoly.
Oh. Is there somebody with walrus hands in there? I heard something about some hands.
I like how you ran out of wit. You're like, man, I don't have anything clever to say. Remember walrus hands? Yeah, I see you, Anatoly. Papis coming down for their final push here, looking for their Pro League win and their Pro League split. It's 9-9, 43 minutes of regulation play. And Papis have the Fire Giant.
Still looking for more in the mid lane. Going into the back line is No Numbers, landing that Lord of the Afterlife. Ochaboom forced into the Supernova. Not going to do enough, though, finding the kill in the back.
But that's just a distraction. No Numbers gets the kill. Good for Elevate. The rest of the Papis are bringing it home. Double for Dalo, 11-10. The Papis take the victory. There it goes. Elevate split with the Papis.
The Papis split.